Diepsloot residents have started gathering. This is ahead of what they say will be a very peaceful protest. They are unhappy, though, about government's response to their concerns over the levels of crime in their community. They demanding that President Cyril Ramaphosa visit the crime-ridden township, and Nqobile Madlala has been out in that area since early morning. Nqobile, good morning to you. What have you observed since your start of the broadcast there? I see a police van behind you. It looks like there is police visibility, which is partly what the protesters are claiming, that the police are nowhere to be seen, and that's why people are being murdered in that township.
Well, definitely a contrast. When the protest starts, as you can see, the police have already arrived. It's very different to what the community has always asked for. I mean, if you look in the beginning, they said that there's no police visibility. In fact, I'm going to ask my colleague here to just come out of the tripod so we can show you that the police are now coming in. Before we speak to, of course, someone who is the leader. This is public order police, and you can see them coming in with Inyala, of course, at this point. And this is what they're coming in to make sure that they're going to control the crowds. And I want to show you the crowds. They've already started gathering just across the road. As they sit there, they've already started with the fire as well here. Now, we do know that this is going to be a peaceful protest today. We have been told that they're not going to create that much or any issues. They just want to protest or march, rather, in a very peaceful manner. And of course, the police, as you can see, getting ready to make sure that that is going to be as peaceful as it comes. So whilst my colleague shows you the police, I'm going to bring in Loyiso Toyi to sort of speak to us about what are the plans for today. But Loyiso, we know that the community has said it's going to be a peaceful march today, but what are the plans?
Indeed, we're going to have a very peaceful protest, as well promised that up until we get a proper communication, we will continue with our protest. I must confirm that there are communications that are happening between ourselves and the union building. Till then, we got a formal communication that speaks to what we want, as we agreed with them. We will continue with the protest.
I mean, I know that you had asked that you want the president to come to Diepsloot. How important is this for the community?
It is important. Hence, we are always saying our government must treat this matter of crime in Diepsloot with the urgency that it deserves. It is very important because it is the only office that can bring all the ministries that were required, we require in Diepsloot to come together so that we can engage them. We can have a permanent solution or a lasting solution.
And tell me about the community. How are they feeling? Because, I mean, you've seen series of crime even after you had marched and even after you had gone to the union building. How are they feeling about the crime in the area now?
The community feels like the police are not listening to us. We're telling the police each and every day, these are the areas of hotspot crime. They're not doing what we've been telling them to do. Go to Extension 1, go to 12 and 13, go to number 11. That's where people are being killed. You must prioritize this area. So they are not listening to us. That's how we feel as a community. If they can listen to what we've been telling them, that they must focus on those areas, indeed we can combat this crime in our community.
Obviously, a contrast to what we're seeing. I mean, we've already seen Inyala coming in. We've seen some of the public order police also, I mean, speaking to the people as we speak. How's this different to a normal day in Diepsloot?
It can be a normal day when we are dying. And we will not be intimidated by police. We have a right to protest. We have a right to walk on the street if we are not satisfied. It is our constitutional right to do what we are doing as the citizens of this country.
All right, so what happens now? So I want to just, whilst you tell me all about that, I want to show just the police as they try to extinguish that fire. So what happens now?
What will happen now, we'll go out and demonstrate our dissatisfaction. We'll go out into the streets and protest as usual, as we usually do each and every day. That's what is going to happen now.
And of course, we know that this protest will also be halted when you go to Limpopo.
Exactly. We are planning to suspend it for today, as we are preparing to go to the funeral of the former chairperson of the CPF tomorrow.
All right, so you're suspending the protest tomorrow or today afternoon?
We might, because it's a long journey. People need to prepare the issue of transport and other logistic. We might suspend it today, but we will engage with the community before we can do that.
All right. We'll let you engage with the community. Thank you very much for speaking to us. That is Loyiso Toyiya. He is a community leader in this community. You can see now the police are patrolling, of course, making sure that everybody that is here is not going to create any problems, because they do understand this is supposed to be a march. We know that they're on high alert. We've seen quite continuous action just to sort of check the place out. We're seeing them as well as they're extinguishing the fire, and we've already seen Inyala also coming in. We do understand that the community has now started gathering, and they will have that conversation before they march.
Nqobile Madlala live for us in Diepsloot. Thank you very much for that update.